Hello and welcome to episode number 32 of Songs of Our Lives. I am Brad Rose. I am a musician, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy, Digitalis, and somebody who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week, I invite on a guest and we talk about the songs and the music that has stuck with them and been with them along their journey. Previous guests include Sarah Hennies, Six Organs of Admittance. That's a hard one to say. Robert Aki, Aubrey Lowe, Montana Roberts. Oh, God. So many great guests. But this week, Lea Bertucci is on the show. I'm really excited about this one. I've known Lea for a little bit now. I've been a big admirer of her work for a long, long time. But also got to hang out with her. I was thinking it was last summer, but then I was talking to my kid about it because I was asking if she remembered meeting Lea, and then she was like, yeah, but that was 2 years ago. Anyway, so I think it was summer 22. But anyway, Lea was in town to do some work with Shane Darwin, who's an incredible sculptor here in town. And it was in partnership with the Tulsa Artist Fellowship. And Ben Vida came too for a couple days, and they played a show. And yeah, it was really awesome. Anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but Lea just keeps putting out amazing records and doing really cool stuff. I want to mention her most recent album, which came out at the end of last year, of Shadow and Substance. It's really, it's remarkable the number of records she's done that I really love. This one kind of sets out on its own because it's two pieces that she composed, and then they're played by other people. So one was done by, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Vapors was done by Cortetto Maurice. I don't know if that's right. And then of Shadow and Substance was performed by Henry Fraser, Lucia Stavros, Matthew Evans, and Lester St. Louis. And God, they're these like really like visceral, like the timbre, the texture of especially that second piece. God, I think about it all the time. Like there's this like coarse precision in that part of it that I don't know. Those are the kind of things I obsess over. It's like the surface texture of the piece, like musically, and all of that is incredible, but like there's just this detail to it that I don't know. I'm rambling on about it because I think about it. I think about it all the time. We haven't heard of Shadow and Substance. Huge recommendation on that. I will of course put a link in the show notes. Anyway, this episode was a lot of fun. So there's not the normal intro on here because normally whenever I start, I introduce the guest. We were just like in a conversation, and then I realized, I should hit record because I sometimes forget. And that's like my biggest fear. And then our conversation just kind of continued, and it was really good and pertinent and interesting. So I just kind of left it. So after this little music break, it's just going to get straight into the episode and just kind of go from there. And anyway, this was so much fun. Lea's awesome. Buy a record. Go see her live. She's always doing shows and stuff. I think she's got some dates coming up too. So look in the show notes for that. And yeah, that's it. Have a good time. Hope you enjoy it.
I found it really fun to think about songs.
Oh, good. A lot of people, it's so funny, the reactions I get. Some people are like, this was so hard and I hated it. And other people are like, oh, it's. And I was trying to think, like, don't take it too seriously. It's not supposed to be like.
It was hard, but like in a fun way.
Okay.
I also had fun like asking other people questions on this list and then just like hanging out and listening to stuff together. That's like the whole kind of point of this is like, I mean, somebody said to me, they were like, the only reason you're doing this is because you just want to hear new stuff.
and find out cool stuff you didn't know about. I'm like, kinda. That's.
I mean, yes, totally, 100%.
Yeah.
But I had a question for you about like I was pretty like by the book definition of about what I consider a song, which is like a fairly short piece of music that is set to lyrics.
So I kind of don't define it because I like
that's not opera. You know,
see,
that's not opera, and it's not like liturgical music. You know,
right?
So
no, I think like I leave
that
it
was
open-ended.
My own like self-imposed definition of from my choices. You know, because a lot of my favorite music what doesn't like fit that category of being a song, but I've always been really like entranced by songcraft. You know, like really impressed by people who can like write the shit out of a song. You know,
right? Absolutely. I think that's yeah.
Like with
I'm
lyrics.
always. I know, like, because yeah, I mean, a lot of my favorite music is 30 minutes long or so, but to be able to like express some of those similar like emotions or ideas in a 3-minute song is its own sort of art form, and I think it's yeah. But I let people define it for themselves because some people have picked like I mean I had somebody who picked like the I don't know stuff that like 40-60 minute piece. Somebody picked like a William Basinski like 40-minute piece or like classical pieces of music. And
see, I left that stuff out because I felt that that song is more connected to like folk form than like Western art music or art music in general. I don't know. But I just want people to know, whoever like listens to this, that those were the, rubric under which I was making my selections. Is lyrics set to music.
Perfect.
In a popular and folk context or something.
No, I love that. I think that's great. Well, yeah. So now I'm going to have to include this part in the actual episode, and I haven't even got to do my intro. So this is all out of order, I love it.
Okay, all right. I'll let you do your intro, and then
No, it's all good. I'll do the intro It's all good. I don't need to do an intro because I'll do an intro like a pre-recorded intro that are not pre-recorded, but I do a part before, like I record a part after this that's like the actual intro. So it's all good.
Cool.
So before we go into the songs, so you've defined how, and I really think that's interesting, and I love that, and that makes it even, I don't know, more exciting. But I was going to ask you because your newest album isn't that old, and you've been doing live performances with it, right? Like the Shadow and Substance pieces. How's that been going?
Yeah, so I did the US premiere of the String Quartet, which is the first side of that record, in Los Angeles back in January, and that was really nice. And I've also been collaborating with some of the other musicians who are playing the pieces on the records, playing a couple duo shows with Henry Fraser, who plays double bass, at the end of the month and into May. So yeah, it's nice to have something out there that is like a little bit more in the ensemble, genre of, I don't know, music with classical instruments. But yeah, there are pieces that I think they mean a lot to me, and I think that they're really powerful. So definitely like big whales of pieces. But
yeah. That's cool. And you also, we kind of were talking about this a little bit, but you just got back from Mexico City, or not just got back, a couple weeks ago. And we kind of had a brief conversation about how Mexico City is a magical place. And I just was going to ask you, like, what is it that you love so much about Mexico City? And what were you doing down there?
So I was there for a couple weeks teaching at a museum called MUAC, which is part of the university. And I played 2 concerts, one at a place called Bacal, and then another one at a place called Casa del Lago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was nice to be there for a minute, not just kind of in and out. And I would say that, that city is really good for surrealism. Like, if you're looking for a surrealistic existence, that's a place for you, because there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on there in that sense, in like an everyday surreal sense, and then people who are making surrealist art and all of that. So
that's so true. Gosh, that's a really good
right, there's a lot of like mystical stuff going on. Very strange.
I know, it's one of those things where to me it's one of those places where people are like, well, why do you love it? It's like, it's really kind of unexplainable in a way. Like, you just have to be there and you'll feel it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. What were you what were you teaching?
I was teaching a 6-session workshop on graphic score making.
Oh, awesome. Oh,
yeah. So we did like different drawing exercises, and then we played some Pauline Oliveros text scores, and scored by Alan Curtis, and lots of things. It was fun.
That's awesome. That sounds really cool.
Yes, it was really fun.
I guess in the world of graphic scores, I just thought of this. The Tonebook Volume 2, is Volume 2 happening?
Oh my gosh. That was a thing that totally got derailed by the pandemic, I have to say.
Oh, man.
I know.
That first one is so wonderful. I absolutely love it. So
oh, thank you. I have been thinking about it more often these days, and Inpatient Press, who put out the first one, is pretty supportive of doing a second one, so I really need to get it together. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, well, good. Hey, I love that first one, and that's, I don't know, that's a, like, graphic notation and stuff is a world that I very much have been living in lately, so it's been on my mind. So
yeah, good. Right. We'll have much to talk about.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Okay. Okay, well, let's get into the whole reason we're here, and we're going to talk about a bunch of songs, and we're going to start, as ever, with, what is the first song that you remember?
So at first I was really stumped by this question, and I was like, oh man, going back into my mind in all sorts of ways. And so I remember Sade, Smooth Operator, being on the radio, driving in a car with my mom. And I seem to respond very positively to this song. So I would say that this is my first favorite song. And it's the first song I have a specific memory of. And you know what? This song rules. Sade rules. And I I realized I've been a Sade fan pretty much my whole life.
Like your whole life.
And then I looked at what year the song came out, which was 1984. And that's the year that I was born. So it tracks in terms of, so I must have been quite young when this, was on the radio.
Amazing. What a first memory. I mean, that's like, God. I mean, I was thinking about, like, I love Sade. Sade is one of the all-time everything to me. But this is,
and a lot of the other questions, like on a lot of your other questions, I could have answered Sade for.
Well, it's funny. I keep saying I'm gonna do like some special episodes of this show sometime with a shorter list of questions, but you have to answer it with just like the one artist. So it'd have to be like all Sade songs or like all Prince songs. And like Sade is one of those artists I could do this with, I think, because there's so many good ones. This song in particular too, I was thinking about, I don't know if this is her biggest hit. I feel like it's maybe her biggest hit, and it fucking rules.
Yes. It is just so, like, the band is good. Like, her voice is just beautiful. The whole thing together is like a universe of sound that.
Yeah. I think that, like what we were talking about in the beginning, like packing so much into 4 minutes. This is, I mean, to start. I mean, this is a perfect example because, like you said, it's this whole universe of sound, and you feel it, and you just, yeah, I love this song.
It is totally aestheticized in this like perfect way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Sade.
What a first memory! Gosh, it's like it's all downhill from there.
It's just and yeah, I had to think about that one for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Well, on a different note, what is a song that often makes you cry? If it doesn't make you actually cry, it makes you feel that way, I guess is one way to say. And do you consider yourself, are you a crier? Do you cry a lot?
I've been known to cry once or twice. So my for that one I was saying Nina Simone, I Get Along Without You Very Well, parentheses, except sometimes. And that song, I think I became aware of that song when I was in my early 20s. That whole record that it's off of, Nina Simone and Piano, is a really, really amazing one and has many, many good songs on that. But yeah, that one definitely makes me cry.
It is. I've only listened to it a couple times in my life because I can't take it. It's so.
It's devastating. It's someone trying to convince themselves that like they're not heartbroken.
Yeah.
But then like the realization that they are. And I realized that there's also there's a Scott Walker song that comes close to it.
Oh, really?
Just in terms of like that concept that I just explained, like convincing yourself you're not heartbroken, is oh shoot, sorry. What is the title of that? On Your Own Again.
Oh, geez, yeah.
You know, you're on your own again. You're at your best again. That's what you tell yourself.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that sort of genre, not really genre, theme, and it's like that is it's one that, yeah, that'll just when it's done like this, like Scott Walker song. I even think like Nothing Compares to You. We'll talk about Sinead O'Connor later, but and I realize it's a song, but it's a Sinead song. I'm sorry, Prince.
Yeah.
Like those songs, yeah, it's just that, yeah. Trying to convince yourself, and like in the Nina Simone song, I always feel like at the begin, like there's moments in her like vibrato or something where it's like she's trying to hold it together, and then it's like that's when it starts to break, and like, oh god, I get like goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, Nina has so many other amazing songs. I love her covers of Bob Dylan's The Ballad of Hollis Brown.
Oh yeah.
Or Suzanne by Leonard Cohen. Her cover of that is really wonderful. So, but yeah, I felt like I wanted to represent some Nina in my selections, and this one is definitely fits the crying bill.
Absolutely. Well, on the other side of that, what's a song that'll put you in a better mood?
I love Dee Lite. That they have a song called Power of Love. This is like mid-90s house music that is just so joyful, and I think the lyrics, like, they're very simple. I believe in the power of love, is like a mantra that you can just like
right.
And I feel like that's a good mantra to have. I believe in the power of love.
Yeah. I think a song, I think that's like a good, for this question, like songs that have like that kind of like a sort of, the lyrics have a sort of, I don't want to say a simplicity, that's selling it short, but like that kind of mantra, repeatable, positive, that's like a good thing to lift.
Yeah, I mean, I also love cryptic lyrics, but for sure. For sometimes it's just like really good to be simple.
Yeah. I mean, I love a good, like a chorus or something that's just like na na nas and stuff. Like if you do that, like that's harder. I think that's harder to do. Yeah, like
Hey.
I mean, there's so many. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Like,
absolutely.
But yeah, I hadn't thought about Dee Lite in a long time, and this took me straight down memory lane. And it rules. God, I'm bummed that I hadn't thought about it for a while.
It's like candy, you know. This music is like candy. It's like super technicolor, just like rhythmic and bouncy. It makes you want to move. It makes you want to, yeah. It's a good one.
It is. Okay, everybody's favorite question, and that is, what is objectively the greatest song of all time?
This might have been one of the harder ones to answer. Yeah.
This one makes people mad. Objectively. Because it doesn't, I put it in there mostly to see people's reactions.
I wanted to just do like a statistical analysis of like the song that has been, the Billboard #1 song of all time.
Yeah, I wonder where that is.
That was kind of how I wanted to answer, but I thought that was too like science brained of me. Well, because there are songs that like haven't achieved that like place as like #1 Billboard, but they've like endured in this way, become like iconic or like interwoven into culture in this way. And I feel that Jolene by Dolly Parton is one of those songs.
I think that's like a really good pick for this. And it's very timely right now.
Yeah.
Which I haven't heard. I haven't heard the Beyonce version, so I can't comment on it, but I know it seemed to be very divisive.
Oh, really? I haven't heard it.
I think I read that she changed some of the lyrics, which changes some of like in ways that sort of change the, I don't know, the feeling of the song. I don't know. I haven't heard it, and I'm I'm you know what? Go for
interesting.
I'm not. Yeah.
Dolly Parton said that she liked it on Instagram. Well, she said that.
Hey, if it's good enough for Dolly, who am I to argue?
But Dolly's laughing all the way to the bank. She's definitely
exactly. Yeah, she's like, this is great. I mean, it's like,
yeah, totally.
And good for her. I mean, it's like Tracy Chapman with that Fast Car cover last year, and it's like good for Tracy. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. So. I mean, I don't know. I think the songcraft of Jolene is just like stunning. It has vibe again. It has this like vibe to it. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think it might be the best song of all time. That's my pick.
I'm not gonna argue it. I think it's so good. I love there's something about the chord, just the repeating of like the way just like the songcraft, the way like the Jolie and like going up and how it's just like it gets more kind of like fraught and intense and oh god, it's so good. It's like those are the things
the chorus,
that when
the chorus like heightens the tension, and then the verses are like telling the story, like the verses do the storytelling, and then this chorus just like ushers the song along in this nice way. It's got a good tempo. There's opportunities for like singing really awesomely, and that's why it's a lot of people have covered Jolene and have done great covers of it, because like it's just the song itself is so strong. Yeah,
I think that's like kind of an interesting thing too when you think, because it is like this. I totally agree with you. This is like one of the all-time great songs, and a lot of times you think about, or at least I think about, like song. It's like, why would you cover this song? It's like a perfect song, but in some ways that's like makes it easier to cover it because it's I don't know.
I was listening to some Velvet Underground last night. I was listening to All Tomorrow's Parties. But but like, I mean, I think we listened to like 7 different versions of it. And it's so, I mean, I love, it's a fascination for me just doing that with the song. And hearing how many different kinds of interpretations can be achieved.
I mean, I really like cover songs, like when they're done well. It's kind of, I don't necessarily, when people just do like a straight up cover, it's kind of, I don't know. It's like, I want to hear a different interpretation of something. Like when we were talking about like the Fast Car cover, it's like, okay, this is just like a less good version of the song. Like, and I mean, and that's the song too, where like, I don't know how you're going to improve on that song. Cause that's, I think, one of these greatest songs ever, but
you can change like some characteristics of it, like the instrumentation, the vocal style, you know, and make it transform into something totally different. And you know, there's such a, you know, in like music, there's like a history of interpreters being like, you know, deep artists. So I totally like believe in the cover song, and I was excited that you asked me about. Should we skip to that one maybe now and then come back?
Sure. Yeah. We can do that. So yeah, what did you pick for a cover song that is better than the original?
So I know that I'll probably get a lot of shit.
Yeah, this is a bold pick.
For this one, I know. I'm aware. So I think that Neil Young is like an amazing songwriter, and I love so many of his songs. I don't like his voice though. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I know people will be very upset with this. But so his song, Neil Young's song, Don't Let It Bring You Down, as covered by Annie Lennox.
I'd never heard this cover before. This was the first time I ever heard it, and it's pretty fucking great.
I think that the song is I mean, it's the lyrics are incredible, you know, and I like, if you think about this Annie Lennox version, like don't think about the Neil Young version when you listen to it. Just think about it as like a song in and of itself. And I think that, you know, the production on it is quite good. Her voice, I mean, Annie Lennox is an absolutely incredible vocalist. That is definitely true. And I think that the quality of her voice here is just like really wonderfully juxtaposed to like the drums and the synth hook that's happening. And, you know, it's really good. I think it's a strong, and I like it better than Neil Young's version. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I know that people are going to be pissed.
I'm sure they are, but I totally like, I don't love Neil Young's voice. I'm like okay with it, but it's you know, it's one of those things where it's like Dylan, you know, Bob Dylan. People, like a lot of people can't stand Bob Dylan's voice. That's fine.
Right.
But and Annie Lennox, I really like this. I really like Annie Lennox is like an artist because her voice is so good and so distinct that she's somebody I love to hear covering songs. Like, I mean, I love her to hear her sing her own stuff, but I saw this one like YouTube thing of, it was her singing a Sting song. It was at some awards dinner for Sting. And I don't really give a shit about Sting, but it was it was incredible. It was just like, otherworldly, and it's because she's Annie Lennox. So I
think she can make some really, really great music, like as an interpreter too.
I think so too. I totally So I'm glad to know that this exists now, and I'm
oh good. I
apologize if people give you a bunch of shit for it.
Well, I welcome it. It's okay. You can
bring it on.
With me. I'm all right with it.
Okay. Well, I guess you find Neil Young's voice a bit cringeworthy. I'm putting words in your mouth.
Oh my God. No.
Just no.
You know.
All right. Hey, what is the song you used to love, but now you listen to it and you're like, not so great. Doesn't do it for me now.
I don't know. I was probably like 12 or 13 years old, and I liked this song that I would see a lot on MTV called Stupid Girl, like Garbage.
Yeah.
I feel like for like a young teenage girl to be like, it's fucked up to have like this appeal to a young teenage girl.
That's a really good point.
Like, I mean, I don't know. People like Garbage, I guess. I just think what it stands for is something that like I dislike. Like that's not what we should be talking about in our culture. I don't know.
It's not great.
I cringe. This is a cringe.
Yeah, I feel like Garbage sort of made a comeback of semi recently or something, and I was surprised at how many people were excited about it. I was like, really?
I mean, I think it's nostalgic for people.
Yeah,
you know, in like in a way, but yeah, I just find the vocals not engaging and the production to be. I mean, it's called Garbage, but I was gonna say the production is trashy. Trashy production for Garbage. I know that guy.
Oh yeah, Butch Vig
is like he's a major producer, but I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, but his production style is so sort of glossy and clean. Like he did Nevermind, and he did I don't know. I think it sounds really dated too. Like it's so 90s and not in a good way. Like
absolutely. I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
I think that's
sorry, Butch Vig.
Yeah, sorry, Butch.
And Shirley Manson.
I mean, you guys called yourself Garbage. Like what were you expecting? Did it to yourself.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Right. It's like, oh yes, this is ironic. Then it was like, oh shit. What have we done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what's a song that people hate? Some people, whoever these people are, it's not a song that people love, but you don't care. You love it anyway.
Yeah. That's a I don't know, contextually dependent one.
For sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
I love, like, if it's around the holiday times and I'm in a drugstore and I hear Last Christmas, come on,
dude,
and I'm like,
it's
shopping.
A fucking bop. I'm sorry.
I sing along gleefully with Last Christmas. I like that song quite a lot.
I'm right there with you.
Other people find it very annoying, which I also understand.
Sure.
I've also been in contexts where I've played the song Hamburger Lady and people have gotten unhappy about it. So it just depends on where I am.
It depends on who's around. Yeah. That's funny because it's like I feel like most of the people that I have on this show would be like, Hamburger Lady. No, man, that rules. But if I wasn't playing it for
I agree.
But if I played it like at a family function or something, I would get run out of the house or something.
Right. Like, why? What are you trying to do? So that was my funny answer. I think the synth sound on Hamburger Lady is like one of the weirdest sounds in any song.
I know.
Like, it's pretty just like, the whole thing really super disturbing. And then Last Christmas, also very disturbing, but fun. Yeah.
And I will always have a soft spot for George Michael. So what a singer. So
I love a lot of George Michael's solo work. I mean, okay, I have to mention that I have this thing with kitsch, that I really like kitsch, camp, Americana, like silly stuff. I have a big appetite for a lot of that music. So, some of my selections are definitely coming from that.
I can relate. So, I mean, I still like, this is how there's the George Michael like live album, and he's singing "Don't Let the Sun Come Down on Me," and then Elton John comes out.
Wow.
And like there's this, it's amazing, like it's going, it's just singing it, it's great, and then all of a sudden it's like in between the chorus and the second verse, he's just like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John," and then they do a duet, and it's fucking the best.
Yeah. So, oh wow. So anyway. Amazing. It's awesome.
Okay. Oh, okay. What's the most romantic song? Are you a romantic? Do you consider yourself a romantic?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. That's a hard one because I might edit my original answer.
Okay.
Yeah, that one is such a difficult one because I think that the whole like Julee Cruise record, what is that one? Falling into Love?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I'd have to. I'm terrible at remembering titles.
Let me double check that.
See who gets it.
Floating into the Night.
That's it.
Yes. Okay, so Julee Cruise, Floating into the Night. That whole record has a bunch of timelessly romantic things going on. So yeah, there was that one, and I don't know, there's so many fabulous romantic songs.
I know. I'm a sucker for like a good love song. A good like
what's your favorite love song?
God, what did I pick? I think I did this early on. We recorded an episode where I answered the questions and Nina Dante interviewed me for it. And my answers are probably all different now because this was like 9 months ago. I think for that, I was in a very sort of like melodramatic romance, like Romeo and Juliet doomed romance. But anyway, I picked Heroes by David Bowie because the whole imagery of like we were standing against the wall and we kissed, like nothing could, oh my God. And like it's the whole world's behind. Like that is
whew. So
I think
amazing.
But there's like not only are there so many great picks for like there's so many directions you can go, right? Like different kinds of romance, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Love Lost, like Looking for Love, In Love, you know, gosh.
I know.
Betrayed by Love.
Yeah, it's like a whole, there's like a whole, oh my God, I got to do a Valentine's episode that's just all the kinds of like
love songs. Oh my God. Yeah. That would be great.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
What's going to happen next year? I'm going to write this down. I'm like, where's a pen? I got to write this down. But I think, that Julee Cruise album, I'm thinking like, I was thinking it was because I keep thinking the song Falling is the one that comes to mind from the album. That's why I was thinking the album was Falling and like that.
If I were to go with Julee Cruise, I think this is an answer for me that changes very easily. But I would say The Mysteries of Love.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, where it's just this like drony synth organ part and then, you know, her super stacked vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty like, I don't know, it's psychedelic. It's this like billowy, amorphous sound where everything is just like together in this way, mixed really well. Angelic.
Yeah.
Sometimes the wind blows and you and I fall in love. I think that's the lyrics.
I think that's, yeah. That's, and those words, like in the context of the music that like you just described, it's this perfect sort of, mix.
And I do believe that David Lynch like produced the record or something. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know. That's That'd be really interesting. I don't know that. That's
sorry, I'm
doing
just
research on it's
doing some research.
Let's see. Oh yeah, features compositions and productions by Angelo Badalamenti and David Lynch.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I don't know. Wow.
I believe that she and David Lynch had a relationship during that time.
Oh yeah, all lyrics are written by David Lynch, and all music is composed by Angelo Badalamenti. So that sort of that's
interesting, right?
Yeah, and then that plus like her voice and stuff. I think it's like those three things. Like God, that's like exactly kind of my vibe. It's like no wonder I love it so much.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's a really
so
good answer.
I guess I'll go with that for the most romantic song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is the song that changed your perspective on an artist, for better or for worse? Most people choose for better, but I've been surprised a few times. That's how I wrote the question, was thinking of it as for better, but then I got surprised a few times.
Yeah, that's how I thought of it, was for better. And I picked Sinead O'Connor. I do not want what I haven't got. And I think I, like most 90s kids, grew up with like Sinead as this sort of one-hit wonder person who did Nothing Compares to You, which is an incredible song, and also deserves mention. Of course, written by Prince, but mastered by Sinead. And then, it was before she died, and then when she died last year, last year, I was reminded of like other songs of hers, and I found her CD in a thrift store, nice. And I started listening to it, and it really like gave me more dimensionality of what this person was about. And I think that song, I do not want what I haven't got, is like, yeah, just really beautiful. Shows what an interesting vocalist she is. And it's just like, yeah, adds totally new dimension to her.
Yeah. It's such a good, it's just so good. I don't know. I don't have like,
yeah.
Like when I first like heard it again, I don't know, years ago, like when I was like, I think I heard it like probably once in the 90s or something. Like you, it's like I knew Nothing Compares to You. I probably heard the album once or twice, but just, but then when I sort of rediscovered it, it really just kind of stopped me in my track. Cause just this, it's so like, it's just like, so like this intimate, vulnerable thing. And just the way that her, like, I don't know, the way that's produced, like it's obviously it's acapella, but like, the way that they produce like her I don't know, it just, there's something so,
the way that they mic her voice captures her, how quiet she can be. She has an ultra dynamic voice, so it gets really loud and gets really quiet, and somehow in the production, the way that they were miking her, they were able to
like get both of those
capture detail on both of them.
On one thing I was going to ask you related to Sinead, have you read her autobiography?
No, not yet, but I had I am aware of it. Yes.
So I haven't read.
Did you read it?
I haven't yet, but I did an episode a month or so ago with Cab Baird, and we talked about Sinead. And apparently the audiobook version is read by Sinead. And
so wow, that's cool.
That I don't do a lot of audiobooks, but I kind of really want to do that one just because she reads it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totally. I would love to hear the words come from her.
I know. It's such a, I think that's cool. So anyway, Sinead rules. So
a truly unique voice, and like, visionary person.
Yeah. Incredible.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, do you pay, like, are lyrics a thing you pay attention to a lot? Is that like a big, are you a lyrics? Okay. So what are your favorite lyrics, whether it's like a whole song or part of a song or what?
So, for this one, I'm definitely going to go with Scott Walker. The song that I selected was Boy Child.
Yeah.
And that's a really great one. I think that there are so many examples throughout Scott Walker's music where the lyrics are just beautiful and poetic and obscure and cryptic. Yeah. And those are all qualities that I really appreciate in words. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Scott Walker songs, I think. It's hard.
Can I read the lyrics?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna read.
Do you have a favorite Scott Walker album, if you had to pick one?
It's tough between Scott 3 and Scott 4, maybe.
Yeah, those would probably be my two. I lean 3, but I love 4. Yeah. It's hard. Like,
I like his new music too. But yeah, these older records are something else.
I know.
Okay, I have the lyrics to Boy Child.
Okay,
so it goes, "You'll lose your way. A boy child rides upon your back. Take him away. Through mirrors dark and blessed with cracks. Through forgotten courtyards where you used to search for youth. Old gets a new life. Reach out, you can touch its true. He's not a shadow of shadows like you see. Hearts hold on holding. If you stay one, you'll stay free. Go seek the lady who will give, not take away. Naked with stillness, on the edge of dawn she says. Night starts to empty. That's when her song begins. She'll make you happy. She'll take you deep within her. Window lights for wanderers hide hard in your swollen eyes. Echoes of laughter hide in the city's thighs. Love catch these fragments, swirling through the winds of night. What can it cost to give a boy child back his sight? Extensions through dimensions leave you feeling cold and lame. Boy child mustn't tremble, 'cause he came without a name. Yeah.
So good. I think, like, you know, I don't know what everybody's interpretation is. Like, to me, this is like I think about it as sort of trying to, like, as you grow up, for lack of a better word, get older, get more experience, like hanging on to this sort of sense of wonder and, like, I don't know, like not becoming jaded with the world, which is something I think all the time now. Because I think that, you know, I don't know. I have this whole spiel I go on about how, like, whimsical, joyous things in 2024 is like punk rock, not like, I don't that because it feels subversive against the darkness that is the world. But yeah, I feel like he expresses this in the most beautiful, poetic way. But that's like one of the things I always took from this song, and I think one of the reasons it's one of my favorite songs of his.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. The instrumental part of it too, that ascending, descending line, so and the orchestration. I'm a sucker for orchestration.
And I'm in his, like, I feel like his, like, the orchestration on, I think that's one of the things I love so much about, like, Scott 3 and 4. Like, he has arrangements on everything. It's great, but those two, I don't know. There's just something about it that really speaks to me, and it's
absolutely
like, ticks all the boxes that I'm looking for or whatever. But
so that That I would say that is, yeah.
Can't argue with that. That is such a beautiful song.
Yeah, right?
What's the last song you completely fell in love with?
For this, I will say Dusty Springfield, The Windmills of Your Mind.
Oh, God, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah. It's a cover. I forget the name of the person who wrote it, but her version of it is very wonderful and mysterious and showcases her voice wonderfully. It's minimal bossa nova influenced. Pretty great.
That sounds pretty great. That sounds like, yeah. I'm like looking outside and it's like this beautiful sort of sun-kissed day, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like I need to. When I get down here, I'm gonna go put some Dusty Springfield on the stereo. And
also, her song "Don't Forget About Me" is one that
it's a great song.
Tends to make me smile.
Yeah, that's like one of those songs where I just think about it. And yeah, it kind of just makes me a little bit happy.
Yeah, good vibes.
That's something. Yeah, I mean that's that's one of those. I don't know, when talking about like songs versus pieces or whatever you want to define. Yeah, there's not. I mean, there are like extended pieces that I can think about and put me in a certain mood. But like when I think about something that I can think about it and like just hear the smallest part of it, and it just makes me really happy. It's usually like songs like this, like that, like Dusty Springfield, or like like that Dee Lite song. I can totally like just get that groove going. You just hear it in your head.
You have kids, right? You have kids?
She's 10.
Your kid might like that music. It's like good kid music.
Yeah.
I don't know what her taste is like, but
right now it's just Taylor Swift, but it's
yeah.
So it's
don't worry, that won't last for too much longer.
Yeah, I mean when I was 10, I was into Motley
Swift.
Yeah. When I was 10, I was into Motley Crue, so it's at least not.
yeah, fair enough.
It's not that. So.
You can't expect her to be into Motley Crue yet.
No, I think I tried. I don't know. There was one night we were, Eden and I, my wife and I, were playing like random shit from our childhood and annoying the crap out of our kid, mainly because she always makes us listen to Taylor Swift. But I think I put on a Poison song. I think I put on Nothing But a Good Time. Oh man, she was, the looks I was getting. It's like, hey,
amazing.
Yeah. So anyway,
so funny.
Okay. Well, we got the two big questions left here, coming down to the end. What is the song that means the most to you? And not necessarily the song itself, but because of what you associate it with.
God, almost impossible to give like a real answer on this one. I'm sorry.
In this moment. Yeah, no,
it's really
in this
hard.
I know. All of these.
I would say maybe a song that I have come back to many times in my life for various times in my life would be It Was a Pleasure Then by Velvet Underground and Nico. That was something that I liked as a teenager. That I've just, I guess I've gone back to and always felt like it does something for me. There's like, it has a magical power over me. So.
Yeah, that's, I mean, speaking of like doing this with one band, I want to do a Velvet Underground episode too, because like one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not that I'm alone in that by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, sure, but it's magical music. It's magical music. Yeah. And for me, it has like the qualities of like heaviness and messiness and interesting voice, interesting vocal quality. And certainly like capturing a snapshot of a time that I wish I was born in, but definitely was not. So it has like a nostalgic dimension. It has a bohemian dimension to it that, I don't know. It's just such good music.
It's such good music. You mentioned in your list that you sent, so I'm going to ask about it. You mentioned Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan. Do you have like a specific memory with that?
Yeah, I mean, my mom listened to a lot of Bob Dylan when I was growing up, and we lived in Woodstock, New York.
Oh wow!
So that's just I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of Bob Dylan, but that's definitely one of those songs where like every time I hear it like I don't put on a lot of Bob Dylan, but if I hear it, it like resonates in a deep way for me. So I think that that's just like some nostalgia kind of stuff. But I mean, his lyrics are incredible, and a lot of his music just has, that unexplainable vibe.
Yeah. No, I was curious because I have like some of my earliest memories are when, like, it was a weekend and I was sick, and so my mom and my sister would go off to church on Sunday morning, and I would stay home with my dad, and we would listen to like Bob Dylan records. And so like that's some of the most formative. It was like Bob Dylan and the Beach Boys. Those were the two things that we always listened to.
Yeah.
And I recently, like, not because like my dad's still alive and doing well, but he got rid of his record collection, and so I inherited all of his Bob Dylan records. And it's become like I don't really listen to him a lot because I don't listen to Bob Dylan a lot, but it's one of my sort of prized possessions is these things that it's like I don't know that I'd be where I am right now if it wasn't for those experiences.
Yeah, totally. It's just holds a place in your memory. And it is, again, excellent songcraft,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff, that's sort of timeless in a way. It's like, there's a reason that it's the stuff that, there's a reason that Bob Dylan saw, like, well, in general, but like those stuff from 50, 60 years ago is still so like powerful and still grabs people and moves us because it's it's not easy. There's something.
Yeah. No, I mean, writing a song is this like amazing skill set where you have to be a poet, you have to understand production, you have to be able to like play good music, with instruments and arrange them in a way that makes sense. Like it's all of these elements together. And you have to be able to sing,
Right. Yeah, that's
I'm looking at you, Neil Young.
Or maybe you don't need to, maybe you don't have to be able to sing.
Oh shit. Well, that's why I picked the Annie Lennox version.
Yeah. No one's saying Annie Lennox can't sing. And if they are, they're objectively wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to end things. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about that we didn't talk about.
I think that's all you're gonna get from me. A lot of these were really challenging, but I had a great time thinking about all this stuff, to be honest, and revisiting some old favorites.
Awesome. And we've pissed off all the Neil Young fans. So hey, what else can you ask for in an hour?
Sorry, guys.
All right, Lea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
Once again, thank you to Lea Bertucci for just having a good time and having some fun with me. One more mention of Shadow and Substance, which came out at the end of last year. It's on vinyl, digital formats. Maybe it was even a CD. I can't remember. But give it a listen. Pick up a copy. Support the cause. It's so worth it. You can find Leah's picks, find the playlist in the show notes. As always, if you enjoyed these episodes, if you want a little bit more, the Patreon sections for these keep getting better and better and more fun and more ridiculous. Patreon.com/Foxy Digitalis for as little as $3 a month. You can sign up and get those extra episodes, and you get them a week early. Otherwise, if that's not for you, take that $3, take that $5 you might save, and go buy Leah's record. All right, that is it this month. Until next time, this month. No, not this month. Actually, I guess this is coming out on April 30th. So it is it for this month. But I'll be back next week with another episode, of course. All right, y'all. Keep on listening, whatever the hell you want.